Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to do my video on two topics. One is previous video that I made of trying to keep mini Phalaenopsis not too damp over winter, ones that I brought home and repotted, and I did a trial with just trying to soak them from the bottom. And a little bit about kiwi orchid bark, premium orchid growing medium, and it's what I use for the majority of my plants, although I do mix it with other things, with perlite and with sphagnum moss. So I've ordered an absolutely huge zygopetalum, which I am going to divide, and I'm going to repot it. So I knew it was coming in the post. It was coming up from the South Island of New Zealand, and I knew it was going to take a couple of days to get here from the day that I ordered it, which wouldn't have been the day the gentleman posted it because that was the weekend. So I got really organised and I soaked myself a nice big container there of bark. So I put it all in there. There was a little bit of perlite in the bottom, but I don't even know if you can see it even stains some of the perlite brown. So I soaked it after 2 days. This is the colour of the water that I got out. So I tipped all of that water out and then I rinsed it again, and then I've soaked it for another day. So today this is the colour of water that I've tipped out, and of course as I plant my plant and give it a good soak at the end of its planting, it will be rinsing out more. So the reason I like rinsing it is because otherwise it makes all my sphagnum moss all go brown and horrible through the pot. It just, yeah, it stains the pots. It's really good bark, but it's just because it's Pinus radiata bark. That's just what pine trees do here in New Zealand. So I have also got some examples of what it looks like when it's wet, and as I say, when it's dry. When it's dry, that's what it looks like there. And to get it to soak in the water in the container, I did hot water, as hot as it would come out of my tap, to make it soak up faster. If I'd used cold water, it probably would have been in there 3 days and hardly have soaked up any water at all. So moving on to, that's what the size number 4 bark chips look like when they've been soaked for 3 days. And of course I soaked some of the smaller stuff as well. That would probably be a grade 3 or a grade 2, and of course it soaks up the water just a little bit easier and goes darker. So if you're using it in a mix with sphagnum and you've rinsed it, at least your sphagnum ends up looking like sphagnum, not dried up brown weaselly stuff that doesn't want to look like it wants to grow anything in there. I've just repotted that one because it was not very happy. So it's got some shriveled pseudo bulbs there, but it was a second-hand one I bought on Trade Me. So that's just a little bit about this one. So what happened with my 2 minis that I repotted was over winter I have trouble with the bark soaking up too much water, holding it and just rotting my roots. So I was really trying to avoid rotting any roots when I bought these 2 little plants. I wanted them out of the cores that they have in them, the peat core, so I made sure I took those out, put them into a nice airy container. But I did run into problems with just watering it from the bottom because the bark chips were reasonably new. They don't hold a lot of water. The ones at the top, definitely, the bark at the top definitely got too dry, and then I actually had 4 big leaves on each plant, and the 2 bottom leaves of each of the plants have shriveled up and just dried off. The leaves just dropped off, and I'm like, well, that was a bad experiment. It wasn't thought through very well with new bark. Had that been older bark that had been wet for a long time, it would have been a more successful trial. So at least I know for next time, if I'm going to repot things, to have some spare bark sitting by, it would have been fine in that stuff and it would have soaked up from the bottom. But with it getting too dry with the new wood chips, that wasn't the best of my trials. But these are things that I learn. It's like with the zygopetalums that I'm going to repot from a massive great big plant. It's a trial I've only got one other Zygopedilum and I have repotted it from when it came and it's done fantastically. So hopefully I'll get some other plants to grow on from the next one, but we'll do that in the next video and keep this short. So that's the bark chips soaked for 3 days. And that's the kind of colours of the bark tea that you'll get off them. Alrighty, thank you very much everybody. If you liked this video, give it the thumbs up. If you didn't, give it the thumbs down. If you have any questions that you would like to ask, please feel free to leave them in the comments below and I'll try and get back to you. And I'd also like to thank all the new subscribers that have joined my channel recently. Thanks very much. Bye everybody.